Hey guys, this is Vinay and you're watching my show, Let's Talk. I'm privileged to be sitting with one of Bangalore's amazing and inspiring women. She was listed by the BBC as one of the 100 women in the world to make a difference in 2014. She needs no introduction. Her age doesn't stand in the way she does. Her body of work speaks for itself. It's none other than Rubi Chakravarti. Rubi.
So, hi.
Welcome.
You want me to say ta-da?
Amazing having you.
Thank you.
You're looking stunning and lovely,
Oh,
as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, how does it feel to be at this platform of inspiring women, of women making difference after 40?
Well, the way I'd like to put it is before 40, I was a very boring person.
Were you completely different?
No, I wasn't completely different, but my priorities were very different. I mean, I was raising a family, I had 2 children, and then, ta-da, when I reached 40, my brain fell together. Never mind, my body fell apart. But, my children didn't need me on a day-to-day basis, and that's a choice I had made. So then, I was a lawyer before that, and I hated what I did.
A criminal lawyer?
Yes. I hated what I did, and it was a profession. I was like, oh, you got the gift of the gab, become a lawyer, You're too dumb to be a doctor or a scientist or something like that. So at 40, I sort of discovered myself. I had the courage to say, okay, I want to get up every morning being inspired myself, and I want to go to work loving what I do, So it was always my passion to be a performing artist. And I was always a proverbial funny girl, so, humor came easy to me.
Yeah.
So I sort of started working at my passion. But I also knew that my passion had to pay the bills at the end of the month.
Absolutely.
So it's a question of, rediscovering yourself, reinventing yourself. And now I'm 50 and
Life is great.
Life is absolutely wonderful, really.
But, just taking you back to the 20s, when you did your schooling, college, and you went into study your law, back then, with parental pressure or societal pressure, you took up what you had to do. But did you ever feel suffocated? You did that for quite a number of years.
I don't know if I felt suffocated really because, I had very emancipated parents, to tell you the truth, but they were definitely academic based like most our parents are. And I think it's only fair because at 18, if I said, Mom, Dad, I want to be an actor, my dad would have probably said, yes, now act like Einstein and do your maths or something. But, the thing is that I knew myself that I had to be proficient in some profession.
Yeah.
And performing arts was not going to be able to pay my bills or, it was very clear. I was brought up in a family where, you also had to give your dues to the family, like, everything was equal.
You did all of that was required back for you then.
Yes, for sure.
And Ruby, wanted to ask you, Ruby, before 40, after 40, what exactly has changed in you?
Well, I think I just take that magical number 40, but it came to a point where I was running my house like a very efficient corporate and, doing things and like being there and being, whatever,
making
president
sure
of
things
the
are fine.
Children's Association and school association. And I was trying to excel at being a mother, like being a corporate leader. And I think at a certain time you have to let go. You have to just let your children fly, because Khalil Gibran made a very deep impact on me while growing up. And he said, the children don't belong to you, they come through you. And your duty or your role as a parent is to, let the seed, plant the seed, point it towards the sun, water it, look after it, and then let it grow. So,
very well said, actually.
And like the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. So I definitely knew I was this big oak tree. And if my children had to become big, strong cypress trees, they had to get out of my shadow. I had to move away. So they didn't need me on the day-to-day basis, and they were forming their own personalities, becoming, so that left time for me. And as a woman, I think we put ourselves last wherever we are. If we're Indra Nui or anybody else, we always put ourselves last. This performing arts platform is a great platform to be able to express yourself and impact the core group that you want to express, because suddenly you get a lot of credibility.
Yeah.
So I always laugh and say, you know, when I was a kick-ass lawyer, nobody wanted to hear what I had to say, but now that I'm this actress thingy, every word I say is written.
So the acting happened first. When you broke out and you wanted to do once your children were on their own,
Yes.
the first thing which happened was acting. And theatre?
Yes, theatre, because theatre has always been my
Sure,
passion,
sure.
and you know, at 18 I couldn't tell my parents I only
Yeah,
wanted to be an actor.
yeah.
That would have got a swift kick, you know, where.
What
it
was your
also-
first play that you did?
Well, I was always very, very active in school and college, and you know, I have a sneaking suspicion. I went to a school and college and a post-graduation college also run by nuns, and they were always trying to, you know, I mean, put me in a slot or like save my soul or something. I don't know why, but I think the popularity and the type of focus that I got was from stage. So I knew this is a very important platform, you know. So of course I did theatre first, and I think the very first production was something called Inner Laws, where there were 9 mother-in-laws and 9 daughters-in-law, and I was one of the mothers-in-law. And straight after that, there was a paper which had an interview with me, and I said, me, really?
That was
And
the first time, huh?
Yeah, and they said a star is born. So
Wow.
I know I had it somewhere, but in my house till recently, but it must have gone out during Diwali cleaning. So,
When did movies happen?
well, as I said, you know, you have a passion and you have to sustain your passion and you have to be able to afford it. So, very frankly, I started taking up movie offers just to be able to afford
The theatre work that you
the
did.
theatre work that I did, which
That's
I
a good.
think-
That's a good move.
yeah, that's a good move. And then, of course, stand-up comedy happened, and then
So it was all much later. Stand-up comedy was much later than you did your first movie.
no, it was I think about the
Same time? Okay.
I don't know the timelines exactly, but I know I started reinventing myself. I started going along and saying, okay, I can do this also, like, you know. So
The artist in you was very important, be it stand-up comedy, be it theatre, be it movies, right? When you were doing it, did you feel self-liberating?
you know, again, as I say, I was brought up to be very liberated. Honest to goodness, I'm a product of my environment. And, you know, I just think if left on my own, I would have been a very shy, retiring type of person. I know all of you will laugh at this, but, you know, we were a very nuclear family and my siblings were much older than me. So I was always part of the discussion. So if we had a family discussion or something, I would try my best to be, you know,
Eating
a
and
fly
not-
on the
yeah.
wall, and nobody. Hell, I was 7 years old, and then turn around and say, "Okay, what do you think about the emergency?" And I'll go, you know, don't talk to me. So it was like that, but. Liberating it definitely is. It gives you a sense of confidence in yourself. And of course, you know, I mean, I did everything with the performing arts, and this is exactly why I like to talk to other women, and you know, my core group of influence is women and young adults, because now everything has become so body conscious.
Yeah.
You know, people are so, I mean, some corporate somewhere has decided that 36, 22, 36 is, you know, what are these figures? Who's got a figure like that, you know? If you're 5 feet 10 inches tall, it's impossible for you with your bone structure to hold yourself up to have a 22-inch waistline unless you eat your muscle, you know? And that's positively unhealthy. I'm not saying that you should be fat and unhealthy. I said you should
Yeah.
just be healthy,
Yeah.
you know? So, I started getting a lot of offers to do movies. I started getting offers to like walk the ramp. I've been like showstopper. So I always say, I'm walking the ramp with a 48-inch waistline and the bozos with 24-inch are following me. I eat pizza before I go on, they suck air. So, you know, with kids, you have to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what you feel about yourself, you know, it's how you look at yourself. I just feel I'm gorgeous and I'm wonderful, and anybody else who doesn't
You
think
are,
so, I guess,
absolutely.
I need you to call me every morning and tell me that. So when I do stand-up comedy, I do not pick on people. I don't. And you see, there's an art form to it. It's not that, you know, you're just SMSing, you know, you use SMS jokes. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of, you know, and I'm a kathakar, I'm a storyteller. So I know how to tell you the story with a lot of masala in it. And so, you know, you tell me, how do you get 300 or 400 people to listen to you?
Absolutely.
You know?
It has to be interesting.
Yeah. So either you dominate them, or just like a dog, you pee on all the 4 lampposts around it and demarcate your territory and dominate them,
yeah.
or you form an interpersonal relationship with them. So if you see more stand-up comics pick on people in the audience, from the biggest to the small, they pick on people in the audience and they thram the hell out of 2 guys, one Chinese guy, one Mexican guy, whatever, and the rest of or they use profound bad language. So I'm not judging, I'm just saying.
Sure.
So what really happens is you dominate the rest of the audience, saying, okay, don't pick on me, and laugh loudly at your stupid jokes, So it's a domination process. So any speaker or any performing artist who performs to a live audience, does that. So I think I've developed the art of forming an interpersonal relationship with my audience. So I sort of get them into my world. It's a voyeuristic peek into my world. My husband is like that, and everybody's husband is like that.
So they'll connect with you.
Yeah. So sometimes my husband says, if you didn't have me, you won't have a routine, which is also true. But it's like that.
Yeah.
It's more directed. It's like I'm telling a story about myself. So
but how spontaneous are you? Or you go with a lot of stuff in mind?
Prepared? Of course. It's, humor is an art form. You don't come out from your mother's stomach being humorous, It's your education, it's your background, it's your
people that you
the people that you meet or you tend to stick around with. Also, it's your command over the language, and it's a skill.
Yeah.
And it's a honed skill. The more you do it, the better you become at it. So, I spoke about reinventing yourself. So the last couple of years, I've been using the subject matter of my comedy to address serious issues.
Sure.
So, it's a very non-senosure tool to use where, people don't feel singled out. So I do a lot of corporate training. I hate the word training. Sort of reminds me of being a ringmaster.
Is this talking to them, talking to young people?
Yeah, no, talking to mid-level, senior-level managers on the usage of humor, how to use humor effectively for team building, for interpersonal relationships, all this hoopla that is going around. So really being yourself, bringing out the best. And you can't just go, like I remember I went to a talk with a big business guru and he said, I'm going to be very short, like a lady's skirt, short enough to be interesting, but long enough to cover the subject. I said, oh my Lord, where does this man come from, And nobody laughed, nobody said anything. And if you look around you, you idiot, there are 75% of us who are women. And we all want to take out one juta and throw it at his face. It was such a bigoted statement to me. Yeah. So you can't get away with it. You cannot underestimate your audience. You can't think they're idiots and they won't understand what you're saying. You have to sometimes just leave it at that,
True.
So you have to laugh with them and you have to have them laugh with you.
Not at people. No, but I have to bring this point here. Off late, when you talk about stand-up comedy, especially because of the television media.
Yes.
It's all about a guy dressing up like a girl. It's about picking people, talking about physicalities, and that's humor. Do people need that? You've seen live audience. What do people need?
I mean, this is a subject we have to do another interview on, So, I mean, as I said, I have no conversations on how people want to earn their bread and butter. And I really feel, because I've acted in films, I've done television serials, so I really know the humor is base level, okay, really base level. Yeah, so, I don't know, I think to talk about, the quality of comedy in India, that's why one of the reasons why I sort of stumbled into stand-up comedy is really to raise the bar. And I think, it's, we cater to the lowest common denominator. So, television really caters to all the, satellite towns and all the, other little villages and stuff like that. So I think they find that amusing, but that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. And to just keep doing the same thing because, and some of it is really gross and very offensive to women.
Very offensive, yeah.
And, I mean, where the subject matter of being like, pleasantly plump, as I'd like to say, or fluffy, is, a thing to like really laugh at, or to, and people are making self-deprecating jokes and other people are making jokes. And then you get people who are supposed to be like, avatars that people follow, like other, big film stars coming onto the set and to promote their films and indulging in the same thing. So it makes it kosher for other people who feel that these people are your idols to follow them in that. So I think they should definitely be, see, when you are in a public, you are a public figure, I think there's a certain amount of responsibility one has in the views that you express, and you know, if you have those views, you better stick by it. Like, you put your money where your mouth is. Having different views, like somebody asked me like that All India Bakchot, you know, do you, like, in fact Radhika Vaz and I were in conversation during the Lit Fest with it, and she was very pro it, and you know, I mean, this is a genre of stand-up comedy. I have no conversations about that, but that's not what I do. You know, ban it, definitely not. You know?
Because it's the choice, it's people's choice.
But the question is, you have to understand, like, you have a choice to be able to say what you want to say in a forum like that. Other people have a choice to say we don't like it. So, you know, I mean, banning it and all is overzealous, whatever. Government.
No, but then, you know, you spoke about the TV comedies or, you know, stand-up comedies where people come to promote movies and stuff. But that's the TRPs of the show, and the shows are running for so long. Do people, average Indian, really appreciate such kind of shows, or have you not given them, have you not raised the bar for them to see something better?
Well, I think it's that, like, you know, it's like you're a frog in the well and that's all you know. And, you know, I mean, I don't know if you know, it's like white chain, something that works. So there's very little change in that. If you look at it, you know, in the old movies, Rajinder Nath was always wearing a frock. Why he wore a frock, I don't know, while wooing a woman. So it's supposed to be very funny, you know. Even now in all these movies, there are these big, over, you know, pumped up, hormone-taking heroes wearing frocks. What? You know, put a woman in it. She looked gorgeous. You know, you wear your pant and your t-shirt or whatever. We look gorgeous in pants and t-shirts also.
And you got into acting. So let's talk a little bit about the acting thing. So you did quite a number of movies, and you've acted with some of the wonderful actors in the industry, like Mr. Girish Karnad, Tabu, etc. What was it like actually going on the set and getting lights, action, camera? I mean, when compared to your theatre, where you can just go
don't
talk?
Even compare, Vinay. No? Just don't compare. It's such a... what I really appreciated after doing my last movie with Vikram, the superstar.
That's David, right?
David. You know that you have to be a great technician. More than an actor, you have to be a great technician, because Vikram knows exactly what it will look like, and every shot he'd go to the monitor, and he was very, very giving. He's really a very wonderful person to be with. And you know, how it looks on the, I don't know what the director or the cameraman were doing, and the cameraman was the person who shot Robo, so he's pretty good. But Vikram knew exactly, like, you know, and I feel all these big movie actors are all technicians.
Because they know the technicalities of the...
it is a technical medium, you know, and exactly what to do and how to go back and do that, or, you know what, like a small scene, like, you know, Vikram appreciated the fact that I was a very good actor. So he, you know, I mean, like, even when I acted with Tabu, you know, with Shobna, sorry, not with Tabu, with Shobna was very clear that, you know, like things, the continuity, what, you know, if somebody carelessly left a bottle of water or something, she'd smack the guy. Because she said, you know, a great scene would be cut on the table because of continuity, because in one scene you have the bottle, next scene you don't have the bottle.
It's the goof-ups that we usually miss.
But I mean, this is fabulous, you know, these people are really...
And they know apart from the art, they know the science behind that.
They know the medium, you know, and I think that's very important. So coming back to Vikram, so Vikram would know, so like I had to sit on a scooter with him with a sidecar, and like ye those things, that type of a thing. And the scene was like he's going but you know, on the motorcycle, and he's got that expression, and I also got that expression on my face, like, you know, both of us going there. And then suddenly I take out my compact and I wipe my face or something. But you know, the fact is, he found out that when I was sitting in the sidecar, I was like really like scrunched under. He found out that, you know, that while they were taking the shot from a moving car, like his body was casting a shadow on my face.
And he knew all of that.
He knew all of that. So he asked for cushions, he asked for the seat to be raised, he told me what angle to do. He's saying, don't such a nice expression, I'll get lost.
But surprising that Vikram is actually asking for that and not the person behind the camera.
You know, he's fabulous. He's really fabulous, and he's an incorrigible flirt, and he's charming. And the thing is that I didn't know how popular he was. Of course, I'd seen his Tamil movie, where he won the national award. on TV, I must admit. But I think Tamil movies have a great storyline.
It does.
I'd love to do Tamil films, any Tamil thing listening. So, the thing is that he even sort of found out in between that I could speak colloquial Tamil. So the unit was mostly Tamil. So when they'd converse with each other, they'd abuse. So I had to tell them, guys, hello, listen.
You know Tamil.
Like I know the
Did they abuse
between
you?
this and that. No, they never abused me. They were very
nice.
Actually, working with the South Indian unit is really, really nice because they're on time, they're prompt. I mean, Vikram, fire on him, like, for a 7 o'clock show, he was there at 5 o'clock. So, everybody else had to rush there and be there because Superstar was there. But it was great because he'd walk and he'd do the shot and all these girls and everything, Vikram, behind. And
he has an aura.
Yeah, and I would be sitting behind saying, Vikram to him also. So he was really very sweet. He was very, very, very nice. And
you love. So more movies going to come up with in your kitty?
Well, actually, I haven't been accepting any movies. Not to say that the offers are rolling in, but whatever I've been offered are TV serials, which I really don't want to do anymore. After the Red Chillies TV serial I did.
How was that? Experience of working with Red Chillies?
Well, Shah Rukh was Mr. Red and Mr. Chillies also. So the experience as anything else is good, but it's just not my cup of tea. It's long hours of work and very little getting, it's also quite a disorganized sector. And I got a lot of offers, to stay back in Bombay and work. But that didn't mean going from one studio to another studio, working from Crime Patrol to something. That's not what I had given up a part of my life to do. So,
but what was your role in the Red Chillies production?
Well, I played a sort of a school principal's vice principal.
Sure.
And I was supposed to be Mrs. Fernandez or something like that, But they had the same, I actually rewrote the dialogues and reset the dialogues myself because Jesus tumko bachayega and all that, not happening. Jesus. So, and they wanted me to wear puffy sleeves. I said, who wears this nonsense anymore, know? And Jesus saved me.
After doing your comedy, acting, theatre, and when we were talking before, you mentioned that through all the work that you do now, you want to work with women, you want to work for women, and that's something that you very, very consciously try and do.
Yes.
So what are the kind of work that you actually do to change the lives of women?
Well, I am definitely a spokesperson for women. I work for women, emancipation for women. I think you need to address the focus group, and then I really think women can't work on their own. You need to have men inside also enrolled in the new woman, and you need to have other women also enrolled in it. Okay, and I feel the best place to target are women's groups and young adults because that is where all your formation starts. So that is a group I work strongly with, and as I said, I use the subject matter of my comedy to to address serious issues, and I do a lot of seminars, I do a lot of talks, I go abroad and talk, so it's just again, as I said, when I was a kick-ass lawyer, nobody wanted to hear what I say, but now that I'm this actress thinking every word I say
wants to hear you.
It gives me a type of a credibility,
True.
It's a known personality talking about something like, when you have Shabana, she's a very succinct speaker. And so when you have Shabana speaking about human rights, like everybody, I don't know if she was just Shabana Azmi, if anybody would have heard her, but she's Shabana Azmi, the actress.
That's why people
Nandita
look
Das,
up
the actress, which gives them some type of credibility somehow, I don't know.
Ruby, this season, Bangalore season, we are spreading cancer awareness. It's very alarming to know that double-digit percentage of people, that's increasing, who are going to be diagnosed with cancer in the coming years. So what would you like to tell people who are watching this episode?
Well, honestly, from what I've read and, talking to other people, cancer survivors, I don't have really in-depth knowledge, but I know it's definitely like diabetes becoming a lifestyle disease. So I don't know whether it's the pollution that causes it or the, the cigarette smoking that causes it or the pan chewing or the tobacco or whatever else it is. I also know it's genetically passed down. But, things are very different from what they used to be even 30 or 40 years ago. There's early diagnosis, there's, there is like stay healthy, go and have a checkup, especially for women, because cervical cancer is one of the most easily treatable cancers. And ovarian cancers are things where 80%, 90% of the time, that if you detect it early, you can save yourself. Even breast cancer.
Even breast cancer,
I know that I had my sister-in-law die of breast cancer, and it's really funny because she said, I will go and see the doctor after my son does his 12th standard exams and after my daughter does her 10th standard exams. And really honestly, in that 1 year, it became too late. So, I'm sure all of us know or have loved ones in the family who we've lost. So I really think early detection, going for regular checkups, making this a part of like when you do your blood checks,
Just this is one of the tests that you
these
need
are
to
one
add
of the
on.
tests which should be mandatory.
Yeah.
Because you really don't, it's so advanced now, all types of treatment is so advanced now that you really don't have to die of the disease.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's my message to everybody. And myself also, I must go.
In conversation with Rubi Chakravarti, we're going to be right back. In conversation with a woman of substance, Rubi Chakravarti. We are also going to ask you a couple of quick questions.
Okay.
One-liner answers from you.
Okay.
One advice from someone that's changed your life.
Just keep being who you are.
Who gave you that advice?
My dad.
One favorite comedy show of yours.
Oh, Robin Williams. Robin Williams, our all-time hero. I really mourned him when he died. I think that man is admirable. And, I was fortunate enough to see him once when he was performing in England, and I got the back row seat because that's all I could afford. Oh, he was just too much.
One Indian stand-up comedian you feel that you look up to or you have great admiration for?
Indian comic. Actually, I don't mind Kapil. I think Kapil's got an innate sense of humor. He's very quick-witted, and I think that's what you need as a comedian. He's very good with his repartees.
He's very spontaneous.
Yes, that what you call spontaneous is quick-witted and thinking on your feet. And I think he's got such a big repertoire that that's how you come up with it. And I think he lets other people shine. Of course, he does some rubbish, but I'm sure the TRP wants that. But generally, I say, hell, that's not bad. Or and even local humor, like B-city humor, and he brings out the fact that he came from a very impoverished background and all, and it's funny, it is funny, and I like the way it's very tongue-in-cheek. It's funny. There's a message behind it.
But the message is, he can do that. Anybody can do that.
Well, if I can, be an actress and a model and a showstopper, I think anybody can be anything.
One city that you feel, or a country, because you've traveled quite a bit, that has the best stand-up comedy culture.
Oh, by far, I think the US, yes.
One Indian actor who has not done comedy role before, but you feel that he's going to shine in that, actor, actress.
Well, I think, most of the lead actors and all that, even like, Shah Rukh or even Salman, though he hams a little bit, has got the innate ability to connect, sometimes with their vulnerability. And
but someone who's not done, that you feel that person should explore.
Anybody can do anything, all right? As I said before, comedy is a honed skill.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you are given a script which is like inane and stupid, there's nothing much you can do about it. But I think comedy comes from within, and I think it's an art form, and I think the more you do it, the better you become at it.
One word to describe the following shows. Comedy Nights with Kapil.
Not bad.
AIB Roast.
Okay.
Did you watch the episode? Did you
yes,
enjoy it?
I didn't find it so hilariously funny. But I have no judgment about what they do. But I find them on their own like much better than trying so hard to be. India doesn't have a culture of roasting people. We very bad humored people. We got a very warped sense of morality, and so I don't think you should pick on people that are not there. I think you should give an opportunity to everybody too.
Absolutely.
But I must tell you one story as an aside. There was a comedian who came, a stand-up comic who came from Singapore, and he was a transvestite, and he wore the most fabulous gown. So anyway, he came down here, and he was brought down by a friend, and the fact is that I was in the audience, and then of course Ruby always has to sing for her supper, see. And so the light came on. Anybody from the audience wants to come up and all that. So, the light came on to me, and then he was his bitchy best, and that's what he does and whatever. Yeah. So while I was walking up and coming up to him, he looked at me and said, now you're a big girl, huh, La? You're a big girl, no, La? You're big as a bed, huh? So I looked at him and I said, La, I need the mic also, La. Because, you can't, La, be speaking all the time, La. So then I went up, I stood right next to him. I pointed all my God-given gifts at his face, and I did a very slow little slinky move down. And I said, eat your heart out, darling. Everything you see is real. So, it's just the thing to be able to give it on the spot over there or whatever else it is. And he took it in his stride. And all the women,
he gives it to all of them, so he should.
That's it. When you dish it out, you should be able to take it. And all the women said, nicely you told him. Couldn't say anything. Women were like, all it. Nicely you told him. So I was quite the hero of the evening.
One thing that gives Ruby a kick.
Love. It makes my stomach tumble. It makes me weak in the knees, and I really hope it doesn't go out of fashion.
How does 2016 look for you? What is up in 2016 for you?
I wish I could tell you some really important things or whatever. I'm going to continue to be me. I'm going to continue to see how I can impact or help, or it's an osmosis process, because the more I give, the more I receive. So I'm just going to continue to be who I am. And honest to goodness, I didn't even expect like somebody would contact me, or you would contact me, or you'd want to be in conversation with me, or I just don't.
Does it add more pressure? Pressure in the sense, in a good way, to say that there have been so many accolades coming your way. There's something good you're doing, and you can up your.
Oh, I'm always there to up my game. And I think my daughter recently got married, so that's another up in my game. And then something else will happen with the kids, something else will happen. So I just want to have my cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? I was given a choice, and everybody says, what are you doing here? Your talent is wasted, you should be in Bombay. But I'm just not only an actor. I'm so many things. I'm allowed to be the human I want to be.
Absolutely.
And and I want to be with my family, because that's my source. So what's the point of driving a Rolls Royce and then coming back to an empty house?
Absolutely.
I don't want to do that, and I think that is one of the problems that most of the women of today face.
All the young women watching this,
yes,
who's up there, going up into choosing their fields and
yes,
stuff, what advice would you want to give them?
Really, darlings, you can have your cake and eat it too. We're here to make a difference. We're here to enroll other people into seeing a larger aspect of what a woman is. We're not only multitaskers at home, we're multitaskers everywhere. And honest to goodness, don't ask for women's rights. Ask for human rights, because we are human beings and we damn well deserve equal rights.
More power to you. Talking to you for the last couple of, an hour or so is like, you're a woman of substance. You are an example to all the young women out there. If you have your heart in the right place, along with your mind, one can achieve anything. How did you find the experience of being on my show?
I'm very thrilled, very tickled, and very honored, to tell you the truth, honestly. And I know you called me up from Singapore, and I said, me, yeah, you want me? And again, the same thing. And I really love this experience. I love being with you. I mean, there's all these handsome young men who are just taking my best angles and
making you look gorgeous.
Yeah, making me look gorgeous. Hopefully so. I'm going to come after you. And it's great dressing up and doing all these things and talking like this. Very nice experience.
Lovely having you.
Thank you.
More power to you. 2016, I wish more and more accolades come your way, more and more good work from you.
Yes.
And you change a lot of lives. Stuff that you're doing in terms of human rights is commendable.
Thank you.
More power. Lovely.
Lovely
Pleasure having
meeting
you.
Thank you so much, Vinay, for this opportunity.
Before you go, we have a little goodie bag from P.N. Rao and DC Designs.
Oh,
Hope you're going to
wow.
love the goodie.
Wow, lovely. P.N. Rao is one of the oldest names of...
Exactly, from Bangalore.
Yes, from
Yeah,
Bangalore.
they have lovely stuff.
Absolutely. I have to be very well behaved and not tear open this stuff over here. So, thank you very much for this.
Before we end, it's a selfie world, unfortunately. So let's take a selfie. Come.
Unfortunately,
It's fortunately, you love selfies.
I call it selfie.
Okay guys, you have to subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's called Let's Talk with Vinay. He's doing some great stuff, honestly. But more importantly, if you don't subscribe, how on earth are you going to see moi doing all those wonderful things? So please subscribe. It's really wonderful and it's worth your while. You're sitting on the computer in any case, yeah, just press subscribe now.